audience members is being very mindful and telling us that there's quite a lineup in the ladies' washroom. So we're going to wait a few more minutes.
I got perfect framing. You don't need me to make it look beautiful.
We're just waiting a few more minutes. I'm going to get started. I know there'll still be people coming in. I'm the resourceful mother, and I can connect families to health and happiness through life coaching and nutrition. I became the resourceful mother back in 2002 after I gave birth to my second daughter because I realized that I didn't want to raise my children the way in which I'd been raised. That's literally what led me to my calling. So I became a very mindful parent right off the bat. When a child misbehaves, they have unmet needs. So whenever you see your child misbehaving and you think to yourself, what is their unmet need? How conscious will you be? If you were to see them misbehaving and say, what's your problem? Or look at it as though they have a problem with their personality, you would not be seeing things mindfully. So when we look at them and they're misbehaving, they're having a tantrum, they're having problems, we say, what need do they need met? When you look at a child's life, almost every aspect of their life is controlled. Let's look at their school. Just for an example, they go to a school that they have not chosen. They sit in a classroom all day at a young age with one teacher, usually, that they have not chosen. They have friends that they make there, which is often their saving grace. But the timing of the day is all chosen for them. It's not like us, where we go to work and you would say, well, I don't choose my job, but we actually do. It's not like us, where we go to work and we've chosen what we love to do, and this is how we're going to make our money, and this is how we're going to spend our day. The child's not chosen all of that. So therefore, it's our job to meet their needs despite all the things they have to do without that being their choice. So how might we do that in a school setting or preparing for schooling? Let's first take a look at when you all wake up in the morning. I have one child, my 17-year-old. She needs 20 minutes to get up and down to the breakfast table. My other child needs a full hour and wants to shower every day, even if she doesn't wash her hair. So I invite you to look at your child, even have a discussion with them and say, do you need an hour to get ready for school, or would you like 20 minutes? And you might have to set a timer to show them how much 20 minutes is. And get a feel for what they need to feel most in balance when they start their day. Next, after they've eaten breakfast, oh, by the way, you'd like to give them some choices at breakfast of healthy options. So it's not, you don't like this, oh, okay, you can just have a peanut butter and banana sandwich, because then that's all they're going to want to have. You give them a choice of some things that are already made, and maybe there'll be one thing that you make. But you don't want to be making all these different meals for your different children's interests. So they have a choice of their meal, some of the things already made. The next thing is you're standing at the door, and one of your children has a meltdown. If you are in a good place, meaning if you woke up that morning and you are the type that needs 5 minutes after your alarm goes off to meditate before you even start your day, you will respond calmly when your child has a meltdown at the door. But if you haven't done that, if you've just, the alarm's gone off, you've had to get up right away, you haven't had enough sleep, you're going to lose it when your child loses it. So we have to pay attention to when we're losing it. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. So one thing I didn't mention was helping the child have a number of choices as to what they're going to wear to school. Ideally, those choices are laid out the night before. So they have 3 choices of what they wear. So notice that they've got all these choices around a day where they have very few choices. So they've chosen their outfit, they're feeling good. My eldest, when she would choose her outfits, when she wouldn't choose her outfits, the whole day was ruined for her. I mean, and that's how some of these kids are. So the more choice, the better. Then, when they're sitting there and they're having their lunch, if they have chosen the water bottle themselves that they like to drink out of, they will drink more water from it. And water is key. I have to speak a little bit about nutrition here. Water is key to helping them get the garbage out of their bodies and also for energizing them throughout the day. So if they've got a water bottle that they've chosen, that they like to drink of, they'll drink more. Now, after school, you go to pick them up, and you've had this totally chaotic day, potentially. Maybe you've been at work, and you go to meet them, and you don't know when they've eaten last, because there are situations in schools where they may not have eaten for over 3 hours. And when they haven't eaten for over 3 hours, their blood sugar drops, and they're going to lose their temper. So when you pick them up, they might be right at that stage, and you're thinking, oh, how come anytime I pick them up they're like this? But their blood sugar could be low, and there you are potentially blaming them for their behavior when really their blood sugar is low. So you might have a snack right in the car for them, preferably with protein, so that maybe just a granola mix so that they get their protein that way. And then immediately sitting in that car, their blood sugar is getting back to normal. Now, if you had arrived 5 minutes before you picked up your child and sat in the parking lot and breathed before you get your child, you'll be in a much better position to receive them when they get into your car, right? So you see how every step of the day, if you have a day like today where you can think about it ahead of time, everything in the day can go smoother if you think about it. So, if a child feels free to express themselves and have control in their lives, they will feel good about themselves and they're more likely to behave. So we've already talked about how you can give them choice in their school day. Now, how about when you are trying to you're trying to incite cooperation in them. So you give them a lot of choices in their day, and then there's other steps. There's actually some strategies that you can give them to just be generally more cooperative with you. And then we'll get into what to do if they don't listen to you. So how to be mindful in getting your child to cooperate with you. Number one, this was mentioned in another talk today, they need a predictable routine. Now, not everything is going to be predictable, but say at nighttime, if they've got to finish their homework, and then brush their teeth and wash their face, and then they can have a story with you. They know there are set times when each of these things happen. They're going to be more likely to cooperate. But if you're just suddenly saying, oh, I'm finished my work that I've been doing at home, now it's time for bed. They've had no warning, and they're probably doing something they enjoy, and so they need to be warned. And that's the next step is letting them know your expectations for a certain period of time. So say it's a Saturday and there's no school, you can set out your expectations for the day as to what you think is going to happen that day. And then when you're in the morning, you say, this is what's going to happen this morning. Then you get to the afternoon and you say, this is what's going to happen this afternoon. So they know ahead of time, because they'll be just playing there with their trucks, having a great old time. We'll come in, Mom, time to go, as if they're going to respond well to that, right? So we've got to think about it ahead of time. Another strategy is to have, the old timers that you go like this, that are in your kitchen, and you hear them going click, click, click until it goes ding. Well, the kids often like those, or they like some method of timing them. So if they are told, you've got 20 minutes to finish playing, and then it's time to put your coat on, put your boots on, they're much more likely to be cooperative than if you didn't lay out what was going to happen and set out those expectations. Another strategy is to tell your child you believe in them. I'm just going to give you an example of this. I was doing a seminar at a school, and I was teaching the kids about proper nutrition. And there was a boy sitting right at the front of the class in a chair by himself, ostracized from all the other kids, and he wanted to pass out my organic apples for people to try. And the teacher, as soon as he asked to help me, the teacher came towards him because she was going to tell him no. Because her expectation of him is he's going to misbehave, he's not going to do it right. But I could see her out of the corner of my eye, and I wanted to teach the teacher as well as the boy what could be done. So I knew he was there by himself for misbehaving. Nobody had told me that, but you could kind of figure it out. So I just looked at him and I said, I trust that you will take this tray around to each child in this room without talking and make sure they each get a piece of apple. And then I trust that you're going to bring the tray back to me and put it down. And I'm so excited that you're going to help me with this. Well, the teacher backed off. And then the boy went around and did exactly what I asked, because I expected the best in him, and therefore he provided me with it. So it's important that we're always telling our children we believe in them, or showing them how we believe in them. And part of that is speaking respectfully to them. If we're always talking down to them, they're going to start to believe that's what they deserve. And the rest of their life, they will believe that that they're not important. Another thing is to point out what they're doing right. There's already been a lot of discussion about that today, but that's very, very important, because if they want to know what your expectations are, you have to explain exactly what they've done right. Good job when you finish playing, you put your toys away. Good job when you brush your teeth, you put the towel back on the rack. Point out everything they do that's right. It makes them feel good, it builds their self-esteem, and it shows them the way. And if you have to take them somewhere unpleasant, so say they don't like going to the dentist. If you have to take them there and they've already just spent the whole day at school and they're really fighting you, you just tell them ahead of time, what would you like to do after the dentist? I know you don't want to go there. So what could you do? What could we do afterwards? You want to go to the park together? It doesn't have to be long. It could be 15 minutes. As parents, we tend to think if we go to the park, oh, I've got to be there an hour. I can't do that. But if